Hey guys, I hope this is working now. The old skipper here is having a little bit of trouble trying to get it to work here. There we go. Welcome to History through Canadian Numismatics, and I do apologize for having the delay here. This old codger is trying to figure out StreamYard a little bit better here, and I think it's going to take a little bit of time to get it straightened away. So, Dale, if you're there, come on back there, sir. I think I can get you back on now that it's working. I couldn't get the banners to work or anything. It would be really nice if they did. But no, that's not working either. But we're going to cover the period between 1915 and 1919 today, which is quite a bit of time to cover, especially with so much going on throughout history. So I hope everybody is well today. And Dale was just showing me an item that he actually put together for me, a beautiful board piece. And interesting enough, it ties right in with what we're doing today. So oh, you want the link, do you, Dale? I think hold on a second here. I think I put that in there, didn't I? Darren, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Just made a trip to the bank to grab a couple of rolls there to take a look through. We can't afford many, but we're getting them three and four at a time.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. Yeah, I just actually ordered some of the new rolls for the Klondike, the loonies. So I got a couple of those rolls coming in.
Looney or Toonie?
No, they're loonies. They're the brand new. They're the brand new loonies. They're colorized and non-colorized. So it's the second ones for the series. You know, we finally getting to see some colorized items, which is kind of nice. So
I did check a couple of loony rolls and didn't see any of those. I don't think they're all the way out yet, eh? Just available if you buy a whole mint roll.
Right now it'll take a little while before they start kicking in. I mean, it's they're right new. So, and of course, you know, when you get them in the rolls, the premiums are so bloody high.
I pulled a painted and non-painted insulin just now, and I pulled a glow in the dark.
Okay, well, no, that's quite a score. That's quite a score.
I was, because obviously I've been waiting for like Numismaniac. Can you come on? And I just heard that, and that's actually a fantastic find. So congratulations.
It truly is. That's awesome.
Well, the lady at the bank didn't even know what I was talking about, and I left with 4 rolls. I sat in the car and went through the 4 rolls and found a glow in the dark. I went right back in there with the 3 rolls, in fact, because I pulled a few, but only a D-Day, a colorized D-Day, a colorized glow in the dark, a non-colorized D-Day, a non-colorized insulin, and a colorized insulin out of these rolls. So I went back in her and I showed her what I was looking for, and she had never she did not know that there was a glow in the dark coin. She didn't know what I was talking about when I talked about it earlier. So I went right back and showed her and got, more new rolls to go through. I could go for another 2 hours or no, 1 hour, because they're open for another hour and just keep playing in the parking lot there. But I thought, you know what? I got 3 more to go through. I'll take them home now, and you're on. Time to head home.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you found that. That's super. Now I'm bringing up Dale here because Dale's got something to show everybody here, and it ties. And I'll just say this one addendum, Dale, because we're talking about 1915 through 1919. 1915 was a very key year, especially when it comes to the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry, because they became the first Canadian troops sent to the front lines in World War I in 1915.
That's right. I'm going to be saying that, yeah.
And what's really interesting is they're also the first ones that instituted what was called the Rolling Barrage. And the Rolling Barrage is when they went across the line, they charged the German lines. They would fire artillery directly in front of the troops that rushed across no man's land. And they would actually keep pace with the troops, or at least hopefully they did. But they keep pace with it, and it kept the enemy's heads down and blocked the view so that they couldn't see the soldiers running across no man's land in this massive charge. And the Patricias were the ones that instituted that, and it was used throughout World War I extensively. So this little thing that you've done up for me ties right in with that, which is kind of cool. And I'll let you tell everybody a little bit about this piece.
Okay. Well, Numismaniac kindly gave me a task, and obviously I used to do forging, welding, metalwork, whatever. I've never done it recreational. It's a bit more fiddly than what I'm used to. And he gave me a challenge, and it was to make one of these, a cat badge. And it was a bit of a go because I had 2 attempts at this. This is the 3rd attempt. And because it's a sand pour, it's kind of difficult to get the indentation to the wording correctly. And so over here in the UK, it is law to have everything tested, purity tested, and hallmarked. So this is what I've done for Numismaniac, and for his service and letting me have a go at this and trust me with his cat badge. This is free for him from the community. So this is as a present for him. And
it's beautiful, and it's going to have
a
very special place.
And the hallmark is just about. And I used to have a scope, but I don't have a scope anymore. It kind of died on me, so. Oh man, that's what the hallmark would be anyway. It'll have my initials with the 39 silver, the anchor, which is the hallmarking company, and then the lion stamp. And the lion stamp is very important because it's anything above 925 standard. So, but this is 39 silver. So this is my COA, and that's what the hallmark looks like. I don't know if you can see it that well. So now DSC, that's my initials, 39 silver, the anchor, and then the lion.
That's very cool.
And it is laser indented. It's done by the hallmarking company itself. Hallmark purity tested in Birmingham SA office in England. And that's the weight of it. Silver. It's the first one I've ever made. And as I said, if he wants me to do more of these, I'll be happy to do more. And he can quite happily send this one back, and I'll be happy to melt one down again and make a better one. And so yeah, this is the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry. As he said, he knows his stuff because that was one of his companies he was posted to you, if that's correct terminology.
Yeah, I was part of that regiment. Yeah.
And so that is basically, this will come to him. I'll be posting it this week, so that's, and I'd like to say thank you. So, but as I said, this ties in with what you're doing with tonight's history. So I'm sorry if I sound a bit weird. It's because I haven't been taking my tablets for the last couple of days. It's because we got a fuel shortage. So bear with me.
Oh dear. Yeah, I've heard all about that. That's something else. Something else. So this is atypical of what we were doing before. We're talking about we're looking at 1915 to start things off, guys. And those that have the best historical trivia on the chat, as a consensus from everybody that's here, that whoever has the best information will receive a coin. So I invite everybody to do a little bit of historical research as we're going. I'm going to start things off, and anybody on chat can can jump right in as well. But as I mentioned with the patricians, that was the first thing in 1915. The Canadian Northern Railway line to Vancouver was completed in 1915. And there was also an attempt, again, a lot of this is World War I, because that was the main focus during that year, an attempt to bomb the Vanceboro International Bridge between the Canadian-U.S. border by a German spy. So imagine, we actually had a attempted sabotage of a bridge between the U.S. and Canada during 1915 by the Germans.
I don't know what 15. Can you see my one okay? Do you want to even out the boxes if you can, or
let's see what I can do here. Even out the boxes.
Should be second one in, if I remember rightly.
Oop. No, I'm very terrible at this.
If not, just make me large if you want. So I don't know what coin you got. Is that a 1 penny coin you got there?
That's the 1 cent coin, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this is my 1915 coin.
There we go. Now you can see both, which is
yeah.
Cool.
So we can sort of turn it around and give you an idea.
That's a little better. But yeah, that's the example of the Canadian 1 cent coin for 1915. There were no other variations of this one here.
No.
And
you know,
this is
the kings are facing the right way. He's got a crown, I don't, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we had King George, or sorry, yeah, King George V.
George Jarvis, like Gratia, Britannia, Omnium, I can't remember now. Omnium, Rex, and
that's India.
And Imprata. Imprata is emperor, and Imperatora is empress. Rex is king, and Regina is queen.
Yeah, this one's had a lot of wear on it. This has passed through an awful lot of hands.
But that's what I love about it. You don't know who's actually touched it, bought something with it. That's what I like about used. Even though I love proof coins can show the coin what it's supposed to look like in its glory.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, there's no history. You know, it's over. This is 11 years old. This coin.
Yeah.
So
it's gone through a lot of history.
Yeah. And I just absolutely, I just love the older coins.
Well,
what's the vintage on that one? That's what I meant to ask you last time. Sorry, Tupac. It's great to see you. Jack Gorman, good to see you, my friend. This is 310,110 coins were produced at the time of mintage. So it was pretty common back then. if you want to know what that is, that's just me making sure I haven't done the video 3 or 4 times. I just put a little reference there. I've probably done that a few times with my coins.
The 19 mil. We had 4,932,134 of these made.
It's crazy because the vast of the country, and you got like not even a quarter of the mintage.
Makes
yeah,
you wonder when
1915. I mean, this is like in the first year of the war now, isn't it? It's just coming up to the first year of the war, so
yeah.
And it's still 40, nearly close to 50 million made. So that was quite interesting. What have we got of the history so far?
Evil Arch Conservative said January 13, 1915, Azino earthquake in Italy, 30,000 direct casualties. You know, this is stuff. Have you ever heard of that?
I haven't actually heard of the actual area, but I've heard of the earthquake. It was obviously Winston Churchill, I believe, becomes first Sea Lord in 1915. Oh yeah.
Encephalitis, lethargia pandemic. Holy mackerel! A sleeping sickness lasted right through to 1926. I never heard of that either. Yeah, it's always good to see Tanawa here.
Did you know Alexander Graham Bell, when he phoned Queen Victoria, do you know what the message was going to be? It was going to be ahoy.
Ahoy?
Ahoy, not hello.
Very naval. Ahoy, matey.
Yeah.
Hello, Queenie. How are
what
you
we
doing?
On now? What coins that you got there?
That's that's 0.925 sterling silver nickel.
Okay, I'll just get a 3 pence. I don't know if I can find any of them. I can only grab what I can get, so I'll just use this one.
Very, very tiny.
Here we go. This is 925, 2016. Because your farthing is going to be like, because that's going to be what? Did you say that's a nickel? So that's 5 cents.
That's a nickel, yeah.
So, okay, nearest one we can get to that one's over is going to be the farthing. So you've got 4 pennies, or 1/4 of a penny is the farthing. So this is 1920, I think. Hang on. I can only grab what I can get. See, I can't get all to my flipping collection. So
after a training accident, Lieutenant W.F. Sharp becomes the first Canadian military airman killed. And the 1st Canadian Division arrived in France. And for those that are into women's suffrage, Nellie McClung presented the petition to the Alberta legislature. Alberta bound.
So how many is minted on your nickel there for that year?
Mintage for 1915 is quite a bit less. That's almost the key date. 1,172,258.
That is low. That is very low. So that's 1915. You've got 1980, 1916. See, these are quite high, even though, I mean, this is quite cool. This is 1916. I'm not going to go to that one. This is 3 pence. 3 pence or friendly bit.
In 1915, John McCrae wrote the poem "In Flanders Fields." In Flanders Fields, where poppies grow, among the crosses.
I've got that coin. I've got that poem somewhere in one of my coin sets.
Our famous Hotel McDonald here in Edmonton was built in 1915. That's
oh wow,
a beautiful hotel.
It's
haunted as hell, though.
I wouldn't mind staying there. That'd be quite good fun.
The
Hang on.
World War
Yeah,
One,
I've got a shilling there.
the arrival of the 2nd Canadian Division as a separate Canadian Corps created. So they're now because they did so well in World War One, they are now working on their own. And the
Yeah,
third
I got
division
found in
arrived in October. So the Canadians were coming over in divisions. So there's a lot of troops traveling across the ocean.
Can they all hear me? Okay, is everything?
Yeah, they should hear you.
Ahoy. Yeah, so this is my nickel. This is obviously going to be a 1920, so it's going to be a completely different story on this one. This is 50%ers now. But this is obviously, I'm just trying to compare the effigies and that, you know.
I just find it fascinating that you've got one with and one without a crown.
Yeah.
You know.
Who gave me a question earlier? Why was it Bill? I think Bill gave me a question yesterday, but I answered it today. So the value of these would be the same. This is obviously 1 shilling. You got 5 cents. Yes.
So I guess our coins make more sense than yours.
Yeah, I guess so, because it does. Because if you were just imagine arriving off the boat to go to Great Britain with thousands of other people in different nationalities, they've all got like 1 cent, 2 cent, you know, even 6 cents, whatever the case may be, and you go shilling, and you go, what's a shilling?
Exactly.
You know, well, it's 5 pennies. Oh, okay. Why can't you just? I mean, sure, that must be easier to write 5 cents than 1 shilling overall. So it must have been quite scary coming into a new country with all these different types of money, and it's exactly the same, more or less.
Very true.
It's actually, I mean, I like the Canadian coin. Would you still call that a fish scale? Would you?
Yeah, that would still be a fish scale. Very, very tiny.
Ralph
very.
Palmer wins the Indianapolis 500. July 24th, 1915. SN flips over. Oh, wow.
You know, it just seems like throughout history, there's so many tragedies, you know, that go on. Of course, there's nothing like bad news to tweak a person's interest, and
exactly.
that's what you see
shame,
most
really,
recorded.
That we dwell on a lot of the bad history, and yet it must have been amazing history out there that doesn't get the coverage.
That's right, and it's the same today.
Yeah, I think that's probably what the thing is with history, you know. Yeah, it's just crazy. 1916. What's that coin? Is that
is also 1 cent.
1 cent. Okay, so I'll find the 1916.
Yeah, I see the Vancouver Millionaires win the Stanley Cup. I gotta look that up. Oh, this particular 1 cent is actually in beautiful shape.
That is a beautiful. Oh, see, I've been playing around with crazy money, man. I haven't even filled the information in on this yet. I'm so far behind.
Check out this effigy. Look at the crown on it.
That looks like it's just been minted. That looks like
that's one of my better coins. That one's a beauty.
You got the hairlines in there. Look at his what do they call that chain? Sorry.
Yeah, I forget the name of it too, but yeah, I know what you mean.
The Imperial.
You can even see the Maltese cross in the front.
Yeah.
And that is so rare.
Look at that. That is just amazingly made.
Isn't that beautiful?
Look at the waves in his hair.
That's definitely one of my favorite coins, that one there. That's a
beautiful coin. And look at this. This just seems like it's just come out of a, I don't know. I mean, the flip doesn't really help it, to be fair, but
Yeah, and look how crisp all the lines
that
are there.
is just almost uncirculated.
And you always check the leaves, and if the leaves aren't, look at that. Look at the leaves on there. Like,
So
I
we
get
got none
cold
of that
chills
on
seeing
there.
coins like that, especially that old.
Yeah, I mean, here, I mean, I can see. I mean, because the Britannia is such high relief, it wears down really small, really quickly on the shield.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a shame because if they had that bead just a bit higher, it would protect the shield a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But mate, that is just an outstanding coin you have there.
There's the mintage was very, very high. I mean, we're talking over 11 million that were made of these.
I would probably say there's probably close to 50 on this one. I have no, I can't remember. I write everything down, but actually, like 14, 15. It's got to be close to 50. I mean, I have it's some. Oh, a little thing here. I don't know if you noticed. Right, when we get to the date in a second, I'll show you a little fact about some of these coins. People probably don't know.
Was it the sinking of the Lusitania that had the American passengers on it that upset the U.S. where they eventually finally joined the war?
Yeah, let me just show you something. I was going to get that. That's one thing I forgot to get. Hang on a second. I have a real death coin here.
February 11, 1916, Ernst mine disaster at 3:20 in the afternoon. An explosion killed 27 men in the section of the mine that was affected and burned 4 others who escaped.
There you go. 7th of May, 1915. This is a real death coin. And what's so significant about this, there was 6 types made by Carl Getz.
Yeah.
And there was 3 fraudulently British ones, but Carl Getz made 2 in iron and 1 in brass, or bronze, sorry, which is very expensive. But this one here, he made 1 with the wrong date on it, and this is one of them here. And this thing is huge. It's a very old box, by the way. So there we go.
Oh, isn't that impressive?
And if you notice, it's got in here. We'll turn the date over. It's got here the 5th of May, 1915. It should be the 7th of May, 1915. There we go. The 7th of May, 1915. And it's got on there the 5th of May. And if you look at the Lusitania, you got. I don't know if you can blow me up a little bit on there a minute, if you don't mind. I can just quickly go through. And if you hold the shilling up, I don't know if you can blow me up. Yeah, this means basically the sinking of the Lusitania by U-boat 20, 5th of May 1915. And if you look close at this coin, and I can't remember what it's all said. I just can't think of it. But you can see the car, the plane or the bomber, the tank or armored vehicle, some of the crates with the 303 ammunition, which would have been the Lee Enfield.
Yeah.
And then, but on the brass coin, Carl Getz would have his name written across here. And
now, where did you get this?
I've had this for years.
That's a very, very impressive coin.
And these were for passengers, and the Germans told the passengers not to get on. And it says U-boat danger, and that's actually Vice Count, but I can't remember his name. And obviously you got Death feeding the passengers tickets. It's got Cunard.
Oh, that's just scary.
But I mean, look at the effigy on that.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
impressive.
this is the real McCoy. This is the one with the wrong date, and this one is the second sought after coin. The only thing I'm missing here, even though the box is obviously old, is like a little pamphlet inside. Yeah, if I show you a penny, does it? To see what I mean? But these are Sally's back in the day for 1 shilling. You can buy these for 1 shilling.
Wow. Well, that's quite the keepsake.
But this is the coin or the ship that brought America into the First World War.
Yeah, I thought so.
And
That's
back
really
in
cool.
2013,
they went down to the Lusitania because it sank just off the coast of Ireland.
Right.
And there was lots of mistakes in the Admiralty. Just, it's a different history when we get to that point. But they found a lot of 303 weaponry in handboxes. So the British government, again, lied on that particular.
There you go. Not surprised. Nice to see BC Treasure Trails here.
Hey, BC, good to see you.
May 30th, 1916, Indianapolis 500 winner Dario Resta. Only Indianapolis 500 scheduled for 300 miles. And, of course, the Montreal Canadiens wins the Stanley Cup, which is very cool. I did not know that Alberta, during 1916, had a prohibition on alcohol.
Yeah, there was it was not how accurate it was. I don't know if you ever seen the Untouchables with Elliot.
Yeah, of course I have. Yeah.
And they went to almost on the border of Canada, where they were bootlegging.
Yeah.
And of course, in Canada at the time, there was a debate whether it was legal or not illegal, but bringing it into the country was illegal, and bringing it out the country was illegal.
Well, companies like Seagram's and Hiram Walker's were making a killing because they were providing the bootleggers with all this alcohol, which was legal to be made in Canada, and they were just finding border crossings. As you know, Canada has one of the largest, its second largest border in the world.
Yeah.
And they just had to find spots where they could sneak it over, which they did.
And that's the easiest way to get it, because Canada, obviously, when it was made legal in Canada, obviously because it's part of the Commonwealth. So it was, and I actually being in the lower areas, I probably think it was probably like they call it a hard border, I guess. So it was like a dry state in some of them. If that's the right term, I don't know. But that didn't fare too well, did it?
Yeah, no kidding. July 1st of 1916, 25,000 Canadians and Newfoundlanders are casualties at the Battle of the Somme, which was one of the worst things that ever could have been seen.
Yeah, I think that was I can't remember the name of the general, but I think that was due to slow marching.
I think it was a lot to do with putting officers in charge that were parade square soldiers, and they wanted to make a name for themselves, and attack. The worst thing that happened during World War I was the introduction of the machine gun. And I mean, you can't be running soldiers in the open field with virtually no cover or nothing but bloody shell holes everywhere and barbed wire, and expect them to cross no man's land when you've got machine gunners that actually have sighted in those areas. They have different arcs of fire, and they were mowed down.
Well, they didn't fire at
basically a slaughter.
Yeah, they didn't fire at the soldiers directly. They fired across. So, it was like, as like an angle. So it was like cutting down more soldiers per angle than it was.
Oh, yeah. They had what they called interlocking arcs of fire.
That's
So
it,
they
yeah.
would just basically rotate their machine guns back and forth and
Fourth,
mow
yeah.
them down.
Yeah, it was like lambs to the slaughter. It's
quite
it's you know what, thinking about it, it's just absolutely. Oh mate, those guys.
Yeah,
Oh man.
worst war ever. All war is bad, but that one was a meat grinder. Boy, evil arch conservatives just kicking butt here.
Yeah.
November 7th, 1916, Jeanette Rankin, Montana, elected as the first woman to serve in the U.S. Congress. Hey, women. November
1916, Walter Cronkite is born.
And I can still hear his voice in my ears. That's the way it was. Yeah, he was actually the one that I watched during the Kennedy assassination.
Okay.
Yeah,
because wasn't he the just the guy who looked after Jackie? If I remember right.
What are you talking? Are you talking about Yasser Arafat, Onassis, or are you talking about the president?
He wasn't signed to the president. He was signed to Jackie when Kennedy got assassinated.
What, her bodyguard? I don't.
Yeah,
understand.
bodyguard. Was that his name?
Oh, I don't know it.
What year are we on now? What you got there?
Oh, I'm just finishing off 1916 here.
Okay.
And take a look. Now here, this one's a little bit rougher shape.
1916. 3 pence.
Or that's a nickel. And that's your 3 pence?
Yeah, threepence, front me bit.
Threepence. And that one had our nickel had 2,481,675 of those made. Again, still in sterling silver, which kind of cool.
Excuse me.
So that's cool. Well, let's move on here.
There is a little fun fact about these coins. I don't know if you know it. You probably do. The reason why some of our coins were blackened is to stop fraudulent Maundy money. That's Mates coins.
Fraudulent Monday money?
Yeah, they used to blacken the coins.
I wouldn't have thought there was that much Monday to be had.
Oh, but people used to use these. I wasn't obviously back in the day, but yeah, some of the coins were blackened to stop people saying, "Oh, this is Maundy money." So they were blackened, some of them. So you get like this kind of toning on them,
right?
And this one here, it's 1917. So they're dark. That's why it's really, really difficult to show them. So the black patina is actually not because it's dirty; it's because they've done it. Yeah, it's one like this one at the 1918. You can start seeing the effigy coming through from the black. But yeah, get back to that in a minute.
Yeah, this one's seen a lot of traffic. That one. Talking 1917. We're talking 11,899,000 of those were made for the Canadian 1 cent.
These just shy of 11 on these farthings.
And these are not that hard to get. Most LCSs have them.
See, I'd rather go to an LCS and get something like that.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And July 1st of 1917 is Canada celebrating its 50th Dominion Day. The government introduced
history. I mean, in 1917 overthrew the provisional government and brought to power the Marxist Bolsheviks under leadership of Vladimir Lenin. The Bolsheviks' revolution spelled the end of Russians' participation in the war. 1917.
I'm probably going to get this name wrong, but if I remember correctly, in that time period, they just suffered a huge loss between the Germans against the Russians at Tannenberg, I believe it's called. And
Okay.
the reason why the Russians lost, they had the numbers. It's because they didn't have the weapons, and you had, 10 men with one rifle.
Oh yeah,
and they were going into battle with no weapons.
Yeah, as soon as one person dropped, they just picked up the one behind, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's kind of a repeat what happened in virtually in Stalingrad. It was like they didn't have the weaponry. They shows how true factual it was when it was going across the Volga. Oh, what's that? That's pretty.
My screensaver. Lost it.
1917. We're getting on to a really interesting year very soon. For our coins, anyway.
Yeah.
Again, we got the half pen.
Look at all the births during 1917. John F. Kennedy, Ella Fitzgerald, Dean Martin, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Desi Arnaz, Indira Gandhi, Lena Horne, Ferdinand Marcos, Dizzy Gillespie, and Phyllis Diller. You know what? I'm kind of glad I'm at the age I'm at because I got to live the same time as so many of these people.
Yeah.
You know,
the legends.
I'm going to go a little off topic. I'm just thinking back when my mother took us kids to the Windsor Raceway, where she was working as a waitress and single mom, and she had us in the back, and she came out and got my brother Mark and I, and we went out to the main room. She says, "I've got some people that I want to introduce you to," and sitting at that table was Mickey Rooney.
Okay.
There was Jerry Lewis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, believe it or not, Jerry Lewis was sitting there. And hold on, who was the other one? Was Jimmy Durante, the schnoz. I got a million of them. So it was so cool to live my life and meet people like that. It's very cool.
See, I'll be unheard of today. I was watching some of the Royal Variety shows going back when I was a kid on YouTube, and some of those greats are now, past. It's just
of course.
But yeah, Great Balls of Fire.
October 26th to November 10, during 1917, the Second Battle of Passchendaele was fought. Charles Stewart was elected as Premier of Alberta, replacing Arthur Sifton. And Swanston Bay, British Columbia, recorded 88 inches of precipitation for the month, which remains the highest officially recorded for one calendar month in North America.
Wow.
And one thing that I know a lot of people don't remember, I remember this because I studied the history on it.
Yeah.
The largest non-nuclear explosion happened in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And it was a ship laden with ordnance that crashed into another ship, and it exploded, and it killed 1,900 people, injured 9,000, and there was no other explosion that big until Hiroshima. It actually leveled in the city of Halifax. All the water, it was gone.
Oh my God, that is
and that happened in 1917.
Not just does it even bear thinking of the trauma and the destruction in an instantaneous second. Okay. Yeah, British troops SS Mendy is accidentally rearmed and sunk off the Isle of Wight, killing 646 mainly members of the South African Native Labour Corps. So a lot of this is going to be like,
there's
it's just
weird
crazy
stuff on that one.
Do you know what I used to have, which I would have loved to show you, but I sold them. I used to have every front page of the Daily Mirror in World War One daily, every day, from day it started to day it ended, front page.
Oh, cool.
In a book, and World War Two. But this old man, my Zoe used to look after. He was obviously going back. He was a World War Two vet, and I think he had the World War one for some reason. And my sister was looking after an old World War II Spitfire pilot. And I used to have this beautiful Spitfire book, and it was all leather, had all CDs inside, all these pilot cards, their flying hours and everything else, like all these little bits inside. And I gave him the World War One book. And there's World War One guy had the World War Two book, and the World War Two guy had the World War One book. I don't know why that happened. It just did. And when my mum was alive, she was a senior carer in a care home, and a lot of, obviously, this is going back a few years ago. And they used to have like these little communicators on the wall, and he was a lovely. His name was Jim, and he used to go, "Hi, this is Jim from room 6. Over. Can you please bring me up a cup of tea, please? Over."
That's cute, actually.
He's just, he's just like, but he was a beautiful guy, absolutely amazing. He didn't even look his age. He still looked like he was like 30.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just don't age. It's like that. And obviously, he was in his like 90s. That was a long time ago, but yeah.
I knew Al Capone ended up being nicknamed Scarface due to a knife fight, but I didn't know it was that far back.
He was one of the last prisoners, wasn't he, on Alcatraz? 1918. Okay, this is going to be interesting because hopefully it's this year. I'm not sure if I got them all here. This is all mixed up.
Well, I know Harlan Brewster became the premier of British Columbia. He was the premier in British Columbia in 1918. Then he died in office, and John Oliver took over.
Okay, we're on 1918 now. So
yeah,
there's the 1918 London Mint, and 1 penny. I wish I had a scope. I really do. So yeah,
it comes in handy.
It does. 84 million, and excuse the light. I just trying to, but so yeah, that's our one. But then this is a Birmingham Mint coin, 1918, which is Kings Norton, and so obviously these are around at the end of the Spanish flu.
Yeah, and you want to talk about losses? That Spanish flu or the swine flu was one of the worst ones ever, and they actually found that originated in the United States and went over to Europe with troops that were coming over to replenish the lines because we were being decimated over there, and because of the horrendous conditions, it just went rampant. And the only reason why it was called Spanish flu was because the Spanish were the only ones that took the time to record the deaths. So they had these massive numbers coming out of Spain. And of course, as we know it today, it came back across the ocean and back into North America and spread. And over 50 million people died.
Oh my god, man. Yeah, it's
50
just
million. And that's with masks.
yeah, it was mandatory to wear masks.
Yeah.
It was mandatory. Yeah, this number here. Now this is a King's Norton. I do have an Eton mint somewhere. I couldn't even get what I can show you guys. But this here, this 3.6 million minted, is divided with the Heaton mint. So that would be 1.33, is it? Each. So this is kind of like a rare coin as well.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at Dimebags. He's still going on about. We're talking about the flu. He says, "But what about my freedom?"
Well, in the Constitution, it actually does say the I think it's sort of like minority outweighs the few. So it's actually mandatory to, and this is where these laws come in place. These bylaws, if you want to call them that. So masks were made officially in law as an emergency thing.
Oh, this is a good looking coin.
That is a beautiful coin. Do you know, I'm really intrigued with your Canadian coins. He's just got some amazing coins.
Yeah, the side's not quite as good, but it's still a really good looking coin.
I mean, I don't want to take them at the flips. Then you see, obviously, the proper glory of them. But do you know what I mean?
They've been. That's why I like having them in albums, where you can pop them out, but they're still protected.
Yeah.
You know, they're not the ones you just push in. They're the ones that have the plastic or the sleeves, which is good. Yeah, I get my masks for free too, Evil Arch Conservative, because I'm a veteran. They actually sent me a box full of hand sanitizer and masks and gloves, and couldn't believe that.
Videos, Dimebag, Darren.
Freedom costs $1.05. June 22nd, 1918, Hammond, Indiana, circus train wreck. Is that the one where the elephant was killed, like Jumbo was killed? I can't remember now. But I do recall something along that lines. August
you're probably
26th.
right.
Sorry?
You are probably correct. I've never heard of it, to be honest.
August 26th to September 3rd, the Battle of Eris took place in 1918. And the Canadian forces arrived in northern Russia to assist the White Russians in the battle against the Bolsheviks.
Yeah.
How did that work out? It didn't work out well at all.
Very well. Didn't work out well at all.
Again, because of course it's the final year of World War I, we're going well. We got the Battle of Drocourt-Queant Line, the Battle of the Hindenburg Line, the Battle of Canal du Nord. Another group was sent to Siberia to help out. The Battle of Cambrai, the Battle of Valenciennes, and eventually November 11th, an 11th hour.
I'll see to show you.
The First World War ended. Over 600,000 Canadians fought in Europe. 70,000 were killed, and 173,000 were wounded. It was not a good year.
It's not
it was a good year. The war finally ended, but Nelson Mandela was born.
Statistics like that.
What's that?
It just goes to show that it seems like a scorecard, like a football result.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I mean, it's like those people fought for people's freedoms. Oh yeah, we got this loss, and you got that many losses. But not taking the fact there was Canada's a huge country, but it's not very populated.
That's just it. That was a huge portion of the population that went over.
You could take someone like, I don't know, Europe. I know it sounds cruel, but okay, they could afford to lose those type of people, but Canada can't. China could. Do you know what I'm saying? I know I'm not being morbid or horrible, but when you look at it like a scorecard, I mean, 70,000, half those people probably died with injuries after the war, you know, from their injuries. And then they didn't even know what shell shock was. So what did they do? They threw them away in asylums.
Or they shot them.
Yeah.
For cowardice.
I think I've got something here. Yeah.
If you ever get to see the documentary film by Peter Jackson, They Shall Not Grow Old, he did a beautiful job of restoring old footage so that it didn't look like it was done back. It actually looks like it was just taken with a colored camera, and he added sound and actually got voices dubbed over, including the actual accents of the people that were supposed to be talking based on their regiment. And you watch that thing and you see what they went through, and you actually feel stunned afterwards. It's just a shocking thing to see. Oh, Marlon, it's so nice to see you. Oh, too bad you got sniffles, buddy. Yeah, I did not find any of these metal detecting, Marlon. Found a lot of U.S. stuff, though, surprising enough.
This is a 1920, I think it's a Reichsbank note. So it'd be 10 pfennig, I believe.
And that's right at the period where you're starting to look at hyperinflation in Germany. Yeah,
I mean, these they couldn't make. I mean, to buy a loaf of bread, they couldn't. It was a bit like Zimbabwe, you know. They just couldn't. You have to take a wheelbarrow worth of cash in just to buy a slice of cheese.
Well, isn't it true that a lot of the towns throughout Germany ended up printing their own currency?
I believe so. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really too sure on the facts on how, but it was so bad and so crazy. I think they probably did have, like, as you say, like their own banks were printing their own money.
Yeah, I've seen actually samples or examples of those bills, and they're quite colorful.
Yeah, I mean, the artwork on it is amazing. I mean, like this one here, this is just huge, and that's 1902.
Very cool.
1,000 pfennigs or 1,000 marks. But even talking, you know, just to buy a piece of cheese, I'll have to have a house full of those marks.
Yeah.
You know, just to go out and get a slice of cheese. If you're looking at it on a as you say, hyperinflation rate, it was. I think they used to use them to wallpaper their homes.
I wouldn't doubt that.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. So moving on to 1919, there were with the 1 cent Canadian, they made 11,279,634 of them. So again, those are definitely not key dates. There's lots of them that were out there. And 1990 is the first year post World War I. Of course, we still got George V hanging in there.
Yeah, George V. He was everybody's favorite king, one of their favorite kings. But you don't see the politicians fighting, no, do you?
No.
I've got them here. But yeah, it's
So Canadian troops took part in the Battle of Shentkirch, a part of the Russian Civil War in January of 1919. Wilfrid Laurier was leader of the Liberal Party of Canada and former Prime Minister of Canada. He died in office. New Brunswick women were finally permitted to vote in 1919. The Quebec referendum on the prohibition of alcohol took place in April of 1919. And May 3rd, Yukon women were permitted to vote. You can see it's like a snowball effect. That's a good expression for Canada. Yeah. It was a snowball effect across Canada. They had a general strike in 1919 in Winnipeg. And the House of Commons passed the nickel resolution. I'd have to look that one up.
Well, that's interesting.
What's that?
The nickel resolution. That'd be interesting.
I've never heard of it. You know what I think it is? When I think about it, soon after, they stopped making nickels out of sterling silver. They went to nickel.
They either lowered it to a lower percentage, or they added more nickel into the nickel itself.
Well, I believe 1921. We'll get on to that one, but 1921 was the first nickel.
Yeah. So yeah, it must have been like, because coins were worth something. You know, it's like the US dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was based on the gold standard or the silver standard. And then it was Nixon, I think, who changed it over to a dollar was worth $1 or something. But that's another day.
I love evil arch conservatives is using her family history. I think that is so cool.
Yeah.
You know, grandmother and grandfather Shirk were born 1919. That's very good. I hope I said that right. January 15, 1919, Molasses Disaster. I heard about that. The Molasses Disaster in Boston's North End. 21 were killed in the sticky. It was like a tidal wave when all this molasses was released, and people have literally drowned in that mess.
That's just crazy. I mean, that was like a tsunami coming.
Yeah, can you imagine that? No, I'm pretty sure I've seen pictures of it.
So which side of Canada would that have been?
What's that?
Which side of Canada would that have been?
No, it was in Boston.
Oh, so it was on the East Coast, around that area.
Yeah, Boston, United States.
Oh wow, that is just crazy.
Yeah, if it would have happened here, it would the molasses would have instantly stopped and turned into big chunks, and the kids would have been eating the damn stuff. Yeah, be nice, dime bag.
So so you've got a dime there, yeah?
Oh yeah, I'll show it to you. Here we go. We'll get rid of that.
So there's my 1920 dime.
Well, it's a nickel.
So we have the 1 shilling, 22 million.
22 million. Boy, ours quite a bit less. And 1919 was 7,835,400.
That is just. See, yours is sort of more prestige than ours.
Prestige?
Yeah, it is. I mean, people would think, okay, 22 million, but 1920. You know, this is 101 years ago. So you got to think that's half missing now. At least half is missing of these in one way or form or another. Melted down, lost to the elements, whatever, you know. And
June 6, 1919, the government-owned Canadian National Railway was formed out of a number of financially troubled private railways. I did not know that. That is cool. I thought it was always the Canadian National Railway. No, apparently the government stepped in. And the big problem that happened on June 28th, which actually led was a good reason why the World War II started. The Treaty of Versailles was formally signed, ending the First World War. And the bad part about that was
too many bureaucrats.
No, because they demanded war reparations from Germany so bad that the people in Germany were starving. They got so angry, they blamed everybody. They started secretly, they weren't allowed to build their military up.
No.
All these restrictions were put on them, and they rebelled.
Yeah, they started training their pilots in Spain, I think.
Yeah, as flying clubs.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
It's
yeah,
the Treaty of Versailles was. No one can decide what they wanted to do with the Germans. You know, not even the British, not even America. Because they owed billions. They said, "Oh, just pay the debt." I think it was. They just wanted the debt. But no, people wanted land. You know, I think the Russians pulled out, and so did Japan or something. They eventually left, walked out the meeting or something.
Oh, I don't know all the details on it, but
League of Nations.
Yeah, the League of Nations was a failure.
Yeah, it was a bit like what the Euro is today. It's you've got 27 countries speaking 27 different languages, 27 different ways of doing things. And you can't say, "Oh, I'm going to give it to this country because," and then you got to treat everyone as equal. So, and it just doesn't work as a market trade. Yes, but as a League of Nations, it just didn't work.
Exactly.
It was a doomed failure. But the war to end with the Great War was a catastrophe, and it still went on afterwards. You know, the battles may have been over,
but the repercussions
were damage. You know, the psychological damage was just horrendous.
Well, I don't know about you guys. I'm looking at the chat, and Evil Arch Conservative has it hands down today.
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm going to do my little draw out of my bucket list. Boy, oh boy.
Cameraman. Give me a second. It's going to tell me.
And we've got, oh, hello. Look what we got here. We have got a toonie upside down.
Ooh. Is that a polar bear?
Toonie, but it's not just any toonie. It is a special toonie.
Oh, polar bear one and the cub.
It's the 2000 knowledge toonie.
Oh, knowledge one. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So this one is very cool one. So I'm going to put that in the envelope with Evil Arch Conservative, which I'm starting to build up. Here we go.
Between those two, they're going to have a nice little package.
Yeah. We got to get a few more people in to.
I did put out a community post for the chat and that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that. I mean, you got this is one of your packages. This is your one.
Let me get back to you here. Holy mackerel!
So you've collected quite a bit, and you've got your silver coming, of course. So, as I said, when I do a better one and you want to change it, I'll just get it redone, and it's not a problem. But if you're interested, I do have different hallmarks. This is obviously I used my same hallmarks as my sponsor mark, but on some of them will have the lion or the Britannia at the side, so you can't see it, but that's the cross. And it comes in it will come with we lost the captain. But yeah, it comes in like a little box like this, which I've made, and a little red, because I'm a Liverpool fan, so that's why these are red. But yeah, it'd be like because the best wet place of keeping silver is like in a little plastic bag and cotton wool around it.
Yeah.
So, and then the COAs would look like this. So every one would have where the hallmark is. Even though it says reverse, it just shows you what the hallmark would look like on the back of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then what the picture. So I've never seen anybody do this, and this is I do this myself.
No,
so.
I've never seen it with anybody. I've seen COAs, but never the way you do it.
And this is actually a sticker as well. So if you want to stick something to it, and you've got like a load of paws, this actually turns into a sticker.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it's and it comes in a box like this. So it will be wrapped up a bit better than this. You know how it comes. You've seen it before, so with the Union flag. I make everything myself. Everything is done myself. There's all my other silver paws in here ready to go.
You know, I think that just the fact that you have to go through so much more than U.S. and Canada, with having them certified as you know, being registered as a pure item,
yeah,
and having those hallmarks stamped in there is very cool. I mean, it's your work is good.
But yeah, it's there's the receipt for it. So that's what I sent off. All laser smarts, traditional mark laser, deep relief, and then obviously charge you like all the postage and stuff. But yeah, I've got my license over there. I can show you my hallmarks, all done by me. If you want to see my videos of me pouring, I don't have that very much room to do as I showed you. I have a very tiny space, so and Zoe suffers from asthma, so everything's ventilated, but she just doesn't like the smell of the sand when it's being like heated,
right?
Which is understandable, you know.
Well, you don't. Yeah. You do have limited space, right?
I have very limited space.
Yeah. Well, I think what you do is fantastic, especially with the pours. The more you do, I'm sure the better they're going to get.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I don't know if anybody's seen any of my stuff. I know you saw your pour. I was sent you, which you kindly got off me, and you had it for like 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, I know.
But if you check out my other videos, my silver pours, they're all there. Got my little ship all marked as well. Swords are done, and that sword is actually bigger than it looks. I have to cut the box up.
Yeah,
I have to cut 2 boxes up, and to make it into this sword is actually huge.
That is big.
My hallmark's just there.
Yeah.
It's not like hammered. I mean, this is done by laser, so and it gets checked. Yeah, this thing is like that's one box. Obviously, fold it over.
Right. Yeah, those are good.
I've had to 2 boxes together just to fit this in. This thing is huge. I went to Zara, goes, I've got a bit of a problem here. I don't have a big enough box, so I've had to cut it up. So yeah. It sits in like that. So yeah, I love doing it. I love presentations, everything as well, and I want to work on that. And, I thought, see the COAs, and when people buy a lot of silver, lots of COAs, I don't think they can really tell. Which COA belongs to which piece they've had over time. So at least you get this, you know.
Oh, there's no doubting it. I've never seen it done so accurately before.
I just enjoy what I do. I think if I do everything properly, so everything, I can know that I can go to sleep. No, I've done everything properly, done the best I can, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but I can't use my right hand very well, and who are we raiding then?
We're gonna raid Maya's coins.
Oh, okay.
She's got a chat that's going on right now, and they got a bunch in it. It'd be kind of nice to say hi to her. Anybody that hasn't met Maya, she is really a lovely lady.
Yeah, I've known Maya for a while. Going back about 3 months in. I think I stumbled into Saka's Saka Plaster's channel, and but yeah, Evil Arts Conservative, congratulations on your another win.
Yes, very, very, very
impressive.
Well done today.
And thank you so much, sir, for having me. Hopefully I'll do a battle chat tomorrow, depends how I feel. I should be all right. I'll just plow through it like I normally do.
Just get better, my friend. No one likes feeling ill.
Oh, it's sort of like where it's been hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold,
Right.
And I hadn't had my tablets correctly. I've had to reserve some of my medication. I mean, I've had to split it up into bits, so I couldn't take the whole dose. I've had to miss some out. And they literally just shut down the pharmacy just around the corner to me to move to a different branch. And it's just chaos.
Mm-hmm.
But I managed to get there today, and because we've been waiting for fuel most of the day, and it's just a nightmare. Silver tea, but yeah, I mean silver tea. I tell you how much tablet. You see me take some tablets one night. I was like,
yeah.
I go, goodbye, cruel world. It must be about 40 tablets there. Like this. He was like, what?
It's like me when I'm taking mine for my stomach. They're blue. And I says, honey, I'm going to take my blue pills now. She says, no, you're not.
Oh, man. If anybody says we use your supplies at the NHS, they've turned me into a junkie.
Yeah, no kidding. So thank you for joining me. I just so appreciate it, Dale.
Oh man, I love it. I said to Zoe, she goes, you streaming tonight? I said, well, no, Numismatics. So, and I'll be definitely going up there, and because I enjoy it. I love watching people doing. I can feature some of what I can grab, and and listen to you guys, and I just enjoy it. Dime bag. So I'm going to go to there.
All right, bud. We'll see you over at Maya if you're heading over there.
Yeah, just there. So
no problem. Pleasure.
Anyway, much love to every single one of you. You guys have been fantastic, and I appreciate you, sir, for having me up. I can't thank you. I love it. I love coin. Do you know what? It's actually really tough. Nice coin talk. It was refreshing. You have no idea. I've been waiting for the channel to come up, like bills and all them.
Yeah,
it's auction. I'm not being nothing against anybody making money. I get it, but when it's on, you think, oh man.
Well, I'll be back Wednesday,
or hopefully you'll be back up tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I'll be checking on you. Take care, buddy.
I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate every single one of you. You have no idea how much you all mean to me, and I can't thank you guys enough. Yeah. Anyway, you go and do what you need to do, sir, and
you do.
I will check you over on Mayor's coins, and I'll have a look around. I've got to catch up on a few people.
Oakley dokley.
Good night, everybody.
Night,
and
guys.
I'll see you on Battle Chat tomorrow, hopefully, and then Wednesday back to this kind fella here.
Aye. Maybe it'll work a little better next time.
That banner's annoying. It's
it is. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'll figure it out with your help. Talk to you later.
You take care. Good night, everybody.